Hello and welcome to this session on data visualization using Tableau. We all know that Tableau has a new version which is in the market now, which is called as version 9.1. We will be first discussing on what are few of the interesting features of Tableau, post which we will continue and discuss about the new features of Tableau 9.1. So the objective of this session is to understand what is visual analytics, what is data visualization, and what are the various statistical packages which Tableau can connect to. And why is Tableau so important when it comes to data visualization world? And why is Tableau number one in the market? We will look into a few features which have been introduced off late into Tableau 9, and then Tableau 9.1, which is probably 10 or 15 days old, right? They have launched this new version. We'll discuss even about this version 9.1. So, this is visual analytics all about bringing in the power of analytics through visualization, right? That is Tableau all about. Now, let me show you one interesting thing even before we proceed further, and that is Tableau Gartner Quadrant. Gartner is a research body which performs a lot of third-party research. For instance, it looks into who is doing a great job with respect to data visualization. And we see here that Tableau is in the leaders quadrant. And no one else can compete with Tableau when it comes to the ability to execute. And the key difference between Tableau and the other visualization tools is that Tableau has not just the visualization part, it also has a lot of analytical capabilities. For example, let me show you one quick example here. This is Tableau 9.1. These are the inbuilt data sets to which you can connect to using Tableau. And we have connected to an inbuilt data set which is called as sample superstore. Now, if someone wants to do an analytics on building a linear regression model, right? People who are naive to prediction models, naive to statistics, I would say that this is the way to predict the future. Given the input values, what's the future? Given the weight of the car, number of gates that the car has, what is the horsepower of the car, so on and so forth, you can predict what could the possible mileage be of a vehicle, for example. Right? Given the miles driven, given the make of the car, given the year of manufacture and all that, you'll be able to predict what could be the price of the used car, so on and so forth, right? So let us quickly do this. Um, we want to predict the profits based on sales. So I'm quickly doing a small visualization for you. This is a scatter diagram. Let me disaggregate that. Now I'm not going to explain each and every step in detail. However, the intuition is important. So let's do that. Now all you can do is go to analytics here and drag and drop the trend line. And once you drag and drop, when you try to drag and drop, you are exposed or you are shown various options on do you want a linear regression or logarithmic or exponential or polynomial. If you know these distributions in statistics, it'll be easier for you. But this is what I've done, just drag and drop. Now if I hover my mouse on these lines, trend lines which you see here, there's an equation which has come up which says profit is equal to 0.180067 multiplied by sales. So if someone tomorrow comes to me and says, hey, this is your sales, I will say, wow, I can predict my profits based on that, right? And all you need to do is right click on that, click on describe trend model. These are the various statistics, right? This is your linear regression output. If any one of you all are aware of p-value, r-squared and all that, this is how simple that is, right? Now, will you be able to understand that the relationship between sales and profit is a positive relationship? Can you make sense out of that if I say, hey, let me view the data? This is a raw data, by the way, right? If someone is going to come to you and say that, hey, here are the various things, here I have profit and the sales part, then if I ask you, will you be able to predict for me and say what is the relationship between these two variables? It would be difficult for you, extremely cumbersome, because we have approximately 10,000 rows here, right? And look at that. It's extremely difficult for you to establish a relationship in that way, right? Hence, data visualization comes in handy. And that is Tableau all about. That's the power. If someone wants to know what's the key difference between Tableau and the other visualization tools, this is one interesting thing there, right? Let me put in the slide mode and let's proceed further. And what is data visualization all about? Data visualization is all about drawing some true business inferences, which will help you and your business grow, right? Drawing some key inferences which cannot be drawn by evaluating the raw data, right? So that's data visualization all about. And what is Tableau? Tableau is one such software which helps you come up with a lot of dashboards, interesting reports, which will quickly give some business insights to the key decision makers, right? And that is our job all about when we work on Tableau. One another good thing about Tableau is that Tableau connects seamlessly with a few of the statistical packages, well-known statistical packages. We have SAS, SPSS from IBM, and R, which is open source. These three are the market leaders in the analytics space. And you can connect to all of these data sets. Let me show you one such example. This is Tableau. If I click on connect to the database here, add new data source, it says statistical file. What are the statistical files which you intend to connect? Right? If I click on that, it says, hey, you can connect to SAS, you can connect to IBM SPSS and the R. In the interest of time, what I've done is I had kept these things handy, right? This is called as R. R is a statistical package there. And even before that, you need to install the package. That's a command to install a code there. So you first need to install the rserve package. And once you install that, right, sorry, I think, right, it's already installed on my machine. So all you need to do is load that. Once you load that, you need to run this rserve. And it has thrown me an error. If you see, it's saying, hey, what is that? No save or vanilla or save. What do you want me? I'm saying don't save that, right? Now, once this is done, all you need to do is come to Tableau, go to help, right? Go to settings and performance there and click on manage our connection. Here you can test your connection that's successful. Why? Because there is something which is running on R, which is called as rserve, which helps R connect to the external applications. Now, once you do that, this is an example that I've taken, right? All you need to do is click on any one of your visualizations, right? This is an R file which has R code, right? In the interest of time, rather than load it, I've already done that. So this is how you can actually see, hey, what are the errors which I'm encountering? Now, MV outlier is an error, right? What does that say? This package is not running in R. So let me show you quickly on that. So there is MV outlier. That's the package which we need to call. It's saying that there's no package. What does that mean? We need to install the package. Install the packages, that's a command, MV outlier. So let me install that in the first place. Once you install, you also need to load this package. So while the installation completes, right, and here the red sign that you're seeing says that an operation is in progress. At any given point of time, if you want to halt the operation, you can click on that. There's a lot of things. There are a lot of things, a lot of packages which are getting unzipped as part of this installation. Hence, it's taking a while, but we are not far away from this package completion. While this happens, if you have any doubts, you can please go ahead and ask me now so that I may answer your questions. Yeah, it's installed. Once it's installed, you need to load that. Now, if the package is loaded, all you need to do is go to that, click on OK. Let me just go back and come in once again. And here you are able to see this. Right? That's the good part. Here, this is our code. If I show you on edit, this is our code. Library MV Outlier. And if I show you on R, this is your MV Outlier. All right, let us proceed further. A quick check. Are you guys able to hear me? All right, perfect. So there's one question. Can we connect HDFS to R? Yeah. Hadoop and R connectivity exists, but this session is all about Tableau visualization. But yeah, we can do that. I've done so. We can connect Hadoop and Tableau also. Uh, Mikala has this question. Is it open source? Which one, Mikala? Are you asking about Tableau or R? R is open source. Tableau comes for a license. All right, let's proceed now. This is all about that. And you have this feature of splitting the data columns in Tableau, and you have the responsive tooltips. Let me show you that also. And then we have another thing which is called as data interpretation. So I'm going to explain these three now, and then we will proceed with the features of Tableau 9.1. Let me go here. The first thing that is a new feature, fairly new feature, which I want to show you guys is the splitting of the data columns. So let me do this. There is customer name. Let me drag and drop that on the rows. Here you see the first name and the last name of the customer. Now I do not want the data to be represented in this format. Instead, I want the first name and the last name probably. What do? Just right click and go to transform and split the data. There you go. There are two splits which get created automatically. Now that's your first name, that's your last name. Hey, do you know what? I want to split in a different way entirely. I do not want to split based on the first name and the last name. How do you want to split? Is something which you can choose, right? So this is called as a custom split. First thing. Second thing, it has a very responsive tooltip. What does that mean? Let us do a small map visualization here. All I've done is I've selected latitude and longitude from the measures. I've expanded the show me panel and I've selected the symbol map there. Now let me collapse show me panel. Now if I drag and drop profit onto color, and if I drag and drop probably profit also into detail there, and if I drag and drop probably this into label there, and so on and so forth. Not sure why it's not appearing. Just give me a minute there. Yep. Let me drag and drop country into the detail. Now you see that there is only one country, which is US, which is coming up there. Now if I want all the other details also to appear, I'll take in that way profit and drop it on the color pane and the marks, right? On the marks card in the color pane, I've dropped profit and you can see the profits now, right? Based on this. So you can do a bunch of experiments around this. You can change the shape, you can come up with a fill map, right? All is yours now. You can just change the visualization of your choice, right? All these things are possible. Now, the thing that I wanted to show you was the lightning fast tooltip. That is what I wanted to show you. So let me do this. I hover my mouse here. It says United States profit is so much. Do you see any difference? Right? There's absolutely no lag there. There's absolutely no lag there. I can hover my mouse anywhere I want. Right? The moment I hover my mouse, the tooltip appears. Now, let me take you back here and let me change this to a circle rather than a shape. Now let me start hovering my mouse on this. There's one data point, this second one, this third, fourth, fifth. Instantly, dynamically, you see those values. There's absolutely no log. That's the lightning fast tooltip all about. Look at that, look at that, right? This is another good feature of Tableau 9.1 and also 9. And if I leave my mouse pointer like that, hovered on a particular data point, it would appear like that forever, right? And in the earlier versions of Tableau, this would go off after 20 seconds, but that's not the case now. And this is real time. That's the good part. That's a responsive tooltip all about. There is another intelligent feature in Tableau, and that is all about. Let me show that using an example rather. So there is a data set called Story Point Laureates, Nobel Laureates. There you go. Right? This is how easy it is to connect to data sets. Now let me show you this. There is an interpreter inbuilt in this. When I drag and drop this, it says Tableau data interpreter might be able to help you. Data does not look right. Why? Because there are a lot of null values there. Right? Look at that. Look at F6, F7 and F8. There are a lot of null values there. A lot. Now, if you do not have time to read all of these things and make sense out of that, you can actually ask Tableau to do the data interpretation part. Just click on turn on. It has filled in a few details. If you notice clearly, earlier everything was a null. Now it has replaced a few. Now, if you want to know more about what has Tableau done as part of this data interpretation, you need to click on review results. And that's going to open up an Excel sheet for you, which says, hey, the red one is data interpreters column headers, green data is interpreted as values in your data source, and what are the values which Tableau has excluded and where did it leave it blank, right? Everything is there. And if you go to data sheet 2, you will see what are the changes which Tableau has done, right? What are the various things where it has added data which was initially missing because of misinterpretation. So this is yet another interesting feature in Tableau, right? That's all about the responsive tooltip, data interpretation. Now moving on to the new features of Tableau 9.1, which is amazing. Let me show you a few. One is you can connect to Facebook, Twitter, another Google Sheets if you have any, and extract the data from these social network seamlessly, very easily, using a new connector which is called as Web Data Connector. Right, so let me show you that. Let me open a new sheet there and let me go there. All you need to do is click on this, connect to database, go to more servers, click on web data connector. Now here you can provide connection to any of your data sets. Let me choose Twitter. This is the URL to which I wish to connect. And instead of Tableau, let me say data scientist. Right? And enter there. Now, this activity, if I'm not mistaken, would take a while because there are a lot of, what do you call, in Twitter, there are a lot of Twitter handles, there are a lot of hashtags with the name data scientist, and there is a lot of discussion going on. So for us to pull all that information into Tableau, it will take some time, right? Because we need to, extract a lot of stuff from the net. So while that happens, let us proceed with the slide, and I'll leave that for 5 minutes and then we'll look into that. There are a few native connectors which are available with Tableau 9.1, which were not available with the earlier versions. Here, you can connect to critical data sources such as SAP, which is more of a structured data. It gives you structured data. And then you can also connect to Google Cloud SQL. These two are the additional data sources which are included, and you can connect to these two as well using Tableau 9.1. That's the advantage. Now, Tableau 9.1, right, has something called as SDK. Now, in order to extract the data from Tableau, from Twitter to Tableau, you should install something called as Tableau SDK. Just an insight, find the nuance I'm giving you, right? So that you can connect to the data, extract the data, and publish the data to the wider audience. As part of Tableau 9.1, you can connect to Amazon Aurora, which is a fast relational database as a service from AWS, Amazon Web Services. You can also connect to Google Cloud SQL, a feature-filled MySQL database which is hosted in the cloud, right? And earlier, there were connectivity issues with respect to SAP HANA and SAP BW. Now we have improved processing speed when connecting to these two data sources. And whatever newer variables were there, there's support for that. And you need not enter the user credentials with single sign-on authentication, right? That's a good part, right? And there's one more thing which is called as we can view proximity. For example, say you're trying to find out the distance between two variables. You can find out the distance using radial selection tool. Let me show you that. And there are a few more things which make sense if I show you in Tableau. All right, this is still extracting, so I think I can use a different set there. Okay, let me create a new one. And let me connect to the inbuilt data set, which is sample superstore. There you go. I have the sample superstore. Now let me show you quickly on what are the new features, right? We have Amazon Aurora, which we have just discussed about. And if you guys remember on what other few other things which I've spoken about, you can connect to Google Cloud SQL, right? And there are a lot of other additional things which are available here. For example, MapR Hadoop Hive, right? This connectivity for Mac, I'm using Mac by the way, for Mac wasn't available. Now we have access to Mac also, right? And Microsoft Azure is a new addition there. All right, so these are the various data sources which you can connect to. Now, with respect to radial selection tool, right, I'm going to show you that particular visualization on Twitter data which is getting uploaded. So until then, let me show you another quick example here on a new feature. So all you need to do is select latitude and longitude and do a drop down of show me panel and select your symbol map. Now if you drag and drop, maybe this time let me do it with sales, or where is profit there? Let me do profit only. All right, let me drag and drop profit into the color region, right? And it should appear, by the way, something's weird in this particular visualization. Why it's not coming, I'm not sure. Let me also drag and drop, sorry, the country into detail. Now that's showing these two values. Now if I hover my mouse there, you see an option to zoom in and zoom out. Let me maximize this for your benefit. So there is an option for you to actually zoom in and zoom out. What if I want a person not to zoom in or zoom out and view the visualization as is, because the information that you want to pass on to the people might get distorted, right? If you give this provision for people to, zoom in, zoom out and all that, the important visualization is gone. Probably you do not want them to have this access on zooming and zooming out. So is there a feature available for me? Oh yes. What is that? All you need to do is go to map and select or do an uncheck on this option which says allow pan and zoom. There you go. Now their option is disappear. So you do not have that option any longer. Right? And another good part about this is you have drag and drop of analytics. What does that mean? Let me show you once again. Let me drag sales and drop it on the columns. Let me drag profit and drop it on the rows. By the way, this is called as column shelf and rows shelf, and this is your measures pane. Now, since you're seeing only one data point, that itself means that the data is aggregated. So let me disaggregate that. Here is your data set. Now, if I go to analytics and say I want to drag median with quartiles, the moment I drag, it's giving me options, right? It's saying me that do you want to do it on sales or profit? Do you want to do it for the entire table or entire pane or entire cell or any particular cell there? That's the beauty, that's the power of analytics, right? And this is called as drag and drop analytics feature within Tableau, which is extremely powerful. Now let us see whether the Twitter data got, oh yeah, now look at this. Twitter data is successfully loaded into Tableau, right? Now if you want to visualize this, first of all, do not forget that you need to download Tableau SDK, and then only after that you can do this analysis. So let me do this. Let me drag and drop latitude onto rows, a longitude onto column shelf, right? And let us drag and drop user location onto detail there. There you go. Right? These are the various locations where people are tweeting in from, and you can also change the background of the map by going to map options. Right here, the background can be changed to dark if you feel that that's going to make interesting visualization, right? Tableau is extensively used for showcasing even the aesthetics of the visualization, not just telling the story. So there's the power of this, and then you can extend your wash out to make the background a little lighter so that it's not scary. So let me minimize the show me panel. And here we are once again. So if you want to know how many people are tweeting from the various locations, and if you want to place that in the size there, you can do so. That actually maximizes and says that these are a few locations from where minimum number of people are tweeting, right? Sometimes your longitude and latitude values might go for a toss. You need to manually rectify those, but otherwise the maps in Tableau are pretty dynamic, so most often than not you'll not see that problem. And if I want to know, or if I want to color based on the country, I can do so. Let me see. Oh yeah, that is why Srinivas, I was saying that latitude and longitude values might be skewed here. So there are a few questions which you guys have asked me. Let me take those questions first. Arun has this question: is it necessary to learn R? No, it's not mandatory to learn R. However, if you learn statistics, not R, statistics, you can better utilize the features of Tableau. Because Tableau, as I've told you, the real strength lies in data visualization, no doubt about that. However, if you know statistics, you can make even better use of Tableau. How is it different from ClickView is what Arun is asking me. Arun, Tableau and ClickView are competitors, but as I've shown you, even before we got started with the webinar, that Tableau is the market leader. Why? Because of all these things. Right? And do you have any more questions? You can start shooting the questions now. Right? Though there are a few things which I need to explain you can shoot in your questions. What are all other prerequisites for Tableau? Srinivas, there are I'm not sure whether I've got your question or not. There are no other prerequisites for Tableau. However, if you know Hadoop, if you know R, if you know any other database, right, you're good to go. Ashish has this question: how statistics knowledge will help? If you know statistics, what are you going to do on Tableau? You're going to do reporting. You're going to create reports for your end users, right? You're going to create reports for your stakeholders. However, if you know statistics, you can predict. For example, your customer says that, hey, show me my sales data based on different departments, based on different years, different quarters, different locations. You create a report for them. What if rather than showing that static report, you actually build a prediction on top of that and say that based on this historical data, this might be your sales moving forward for the next quarter. This might be your potential sales. Will they not be interested in looking into those kind of enhanced reports, right? For that reason, statistical knowledge is going to help. Ashish. Now, Pranjal has a question. What kind of volume of data are we talking about for quick responses? So I have worked with 1 GB data and it worked absolutely okay for me. And if you have a higher database, right? For example, if you have 5 GB of data or 10 GB of data, Tableau has a provision wherein you can write your own code. So let me show you that just a moment. If you're, say, trying to export an Excel sheet, just as an example. Now here, rather than copying and pasting this entire thing, I can actually write a SQL query, right? And extract only those things rather than extracting entire thing. So if I see here, I have 52 rows. Are all 52 rows equally important for me? I don't know, right? If you say this, there are 1053 rows and a lot of columns. Are all columns equally important for me? I don't know. However, if you know on what are those things which might be of interest to you, you can actually connect only to that, right? For example, here is my sample store. Let me say edit data source. All right. So I have orders. Here there's a lot of data. People. There's a lot of data there. And returns. Right. There's a lot of data there. Let me drag and drop and put everything into this. Right. When you know for a fact that there are a lot of values within that, you can write your own SQL queries to extract only those columns of interest to you rather than extracting the entire stuff. And there are, oh my god, there are a lot of questions, so let me start taking that. Can we replace Pentaho BI with Tableau? Yeah, Mohit, you can do so. Ashish says he did not get. I'm not sure what you did not get. How statistical knowledge will help was your question. My answer was, oh yeah, so you got it, fine. What kind of volume of data are we? This is something I've taken. Does Tableau feature in the Gartner's Magic Quadrant for data visualization technology? Oh yes, Divyanshu, I've shown you that. The Tableau features in the leaders quadrant above all the other players. Srinivas says, I'm from .NET background with 13 years of experience. What are the opportunities? As you know, data analytics, data visualization, these are the buzzwords which we are hearing as of now, right, in the current world. And this trend would continue for the next probably 10 years or so, because the amount of internet penetration, the amount of, or the number of smart devices, the amount of data which is getting generated will not come down. Hence, the demand for extracting inferences from those kind of big data sets will not come down. So there are a plethora of opportunities in that way. Is there any certification related to data analyst by Cloudera? Yeah. Umakant, there are a lot of certification courses available on Cloudera. What is the maximum count of colors that we can use from color palette? Nikhil, there are a lot. I mean, let me show you that. So for example, let me drop down on that. Let me say I want to edit the colors. There are a lot of colors, and you have a custom sequential, custom diverging, right? So there are a lot of things which you can do. Reverse, stepped, and all that. Considering all that, I would say there are a lot, but I cannot really comment on the count. However, there are a lot. And what are the basic functionality differences between ETL, basically what Informatica does? Here, whatever transformations that you want to do on the data sources, you need to perform on the raw data. Only then you can load it into Tableau. Right? Tableau is the end warehouse kind of. In Cognos, there's a framework manager that transforms database layer to presentation layer. In Tableau, is there a similar framework manager equivalent? Yeah, Tableau has Wiz server and a different layer altogether, presentation layer, which works on similar lines to what your framework manager does in Cognos. In SAS VA, we have predictive analysis forecasting. Is there a similar feature in Tableau? Oh yeah, we can use predictive analytics. So let me show you that. That's what I've shown I believe in the first place here. These things are your forecasting, right? So based on that equation, so let me say describe trend line, right? So this is the model that we have built, the prediction model. Let me maximize that, right? And here you have all those things, right? Profit, sales, intercept, and all that. Based on that, you have this equation. If I hover my mouse on that, you see that profit is equal to 0.325988 multiplied by sales. So if you have the sales value, you can forecast your profit in that way. If you know the sales for, say, the past 10 quarters, then for the 11th and 12th or 13th quarter, you can actually forecast. Forecast is nothing but time series based. Yeah. In short, we have that feature. Ashwin. Or does it auto pull from an Excel file database? It's going to auto pull with Girish. Can database queries be run on Tableau? Absolutely, Divyanshu. Database queries can be run. All your SQL queries can be run. Winith. Can we use the native MDX to exhibit that, or I should say OLAP analysis database? Sorry, Vinith, I didn't quite get that question. Can you be a little clearer? What are all scripts Tableau supports? Any of your leading scripts, Ramesh. To put it in a short way, any of the leading scripting languages that you have, everything is supported in Tableau. In trial, I'm unable to see these features. Arihat, which feature? In trial also, you should be able to see Arihat. If it's in the 14-day trial, you can actually look into that. Ashwin, does Tableau work with in-memory concept and does it have sentimental analysis? Oh yes, you can perform a lot of sentiment analysis also on Tableau. You can do word cloud. You can come up with a positive, negative word cloud. You can do all that, Ashwin. That's extremely easy in Tableau. Arhit says this, I'm done with big data certification and working on big data project now. How can Tableau add value to that? Let me give you a small example. If Nestle is your client, for example, right? There's a lot of data that you get from Facebook. There's a lot of data that you get from Twitter, social media. You can actually use Hadoop as a platform, Hive, and you can have a connectivity to Tableau. The output of your Hive can be used in Tableau for visualization. For example, Ashwin was asking on sentiment analysis. If I have thousands of tweets available, how many people are going to tweet positively? How many people are tweeting negative things? You can do all that analysis, right? And Nikhil says, I'm working on Tableau 9 and I have dimension that has different values more than 20. But when I drag this to color palette, I'm getting duplicate colors. Any reason? Probably you need to select the appropriate color from the color panel. Nikhil. We need how Tableau is good when we integrate with external application, .NET application. I mean, Tableau ensures that it makes your life easy by connecting to all these kind of external data sources, right? And remember, the strength of Tableau lies in its visualization. So whatever you're building using your whatever application you have, external application, you can integrate with Tableau and look into the visualization. Pranjal, how are dashboards shared with relevant users and how is data level security applicable on reports? For that, you need to have something called as Tableau server. Within Tableau server, you can set your security on who should be given read access, who should be given write access, and all that. All right. So I'll take your questions in just a minute. Let me show you one important feature in Tableau, and then I can probably take your questions. So there is yet another good feature in Tableau, which is based on um, histogram. Histogram is a very good visualization tool when it comes to looking into your long tail concepts and all that. So I've connected to the sample superstore dataset. Let me select the profit and just expand the show me panel and say, hey, show me the histogram. Right? In Tableau earlier version, it used to take the default bin size there. The bin, this is called as the bin size, and it used to take the default bin size. However, and the default was 10 bins. 10 such bins would get generated. However, in Tableau 9.1, you have this additional option in which, let me show you that. Just right click on that particular measure, go to create and click on bins. It's going to show you a suggest bin size. Based on what kind of dataset you're using, real time, Tableau 9.1 is going to suggest you on how many such bins you need to have to represent your data. Rather than taking 10 as default, which was in Tableau 9, now this is a very good feature, right? It's going to suggest you on how many bins you need to have in a dataset. That's the beauty of Tableau, right? Now, let me show you one another feature, and then we can, I can probably take your questions. So with I connected to the sample superstore dataset, let me drag country into the column shelf there, and let me drag sales measure into rows and profit measure into rows there. Now let me select the scatter plot and let me do this exercise of disaggregating the measure. Now from the main menu, we can select the analysis tab here. And this feature is extremely important because, by default, all the values are actually aggregated. So that is what I've just shown you. Do not forget to do that, because otherwise most people say that, hey, there is only one value appearing, though I've selected all the countries. That's very important. And the next thing is, you can drag and drop the state onto your filters shelf. And here, if I go to condition and by formula, look at the beauty of this. You need not just filter based on whatever values are there. Instead, you can write your own formula. You can filter the various fields based on your own formula, right? And this is a new feature once again, right, in Tableau 9.1. All right, and it has a lot of mobile features wherein you can download Tableau on your iPad or Samsung Notepad, and then you can operate Tableau just by using your fingers. That's it. 2 fingers and the entire visualization can be done. And there is also one small thing which is called as a motion chart. Let me quickly show you that and then we can move on. Let me go to world indicators, and all you can do is let me drag life expectancy of male or female, whatever it, and the health expenditure. Let me once again disaggregate that. That's the most important feature. Let me drag and drop year onto filters there. And let me say that, hey, we want the, sorry, let me drag and drop that to pages there. And you see all these values. Let me change that to circle. It makes life easier. Let me select, drag and drop country onto that. Now this is called as the dynamic map, which actually changes. So What you can actually do is when you go to your client, you can have your data represented in this format, and you can create this animated graph. And while this animation happens, you can actually explain your entire story. So instead of showing you country, let me show you region. That makes more sense. Here you'll have lesser data points, lesser colors. So you can probably say that here I have US, its GDP is increasing. However, Africa also health expenditure has increased, and slowly and steadily this is the status as of 2012. So you can create these kind of animated maps and make your story even more interesting there. All right. How can we connect Tableau with Hive, HBase, Spark? So Mohit, we have few connectors called connector for Hive, connector for HBase, Spark, and all that. Once you do that, within Tableau itself, you have these connectors. So you can connect with Mapper, Hadoop Hive, Hortonworks Hive, Cloudera also is there, Hadoop. So you can connect to all these data sets. There is a small setting which you need to do on your Hive environment, and then you need to type in ifconfig, which will give you the IP address of your Hive, and then take that and put it in Tableau. When you click on connect to the data source, you'll be given an option to key in the username and all that. Can we use OLAP analysis database and MDX? Vineet has this question. Yes, Vineet, we can use that. Can you share the URL used in the web data connector? Absolutely, I can do so. Prachi, I'll do so. Will the Tableau run fine if I replace the geographical map in the background by statistical maps, bar graphs, pie charts, normal curves, or Poisson distributions? Absolutely, Divyanshu, it works well. Let me quickly show you, right? It's extremely easy in Tableau if you want to load an image, right? All you need to do is click on an image, right? And it's going to ask, hey, which image do you want me to place here? Right? Or if you want to place, say, a web page there, all you need to do is provide a URL. For example, let me give this URL. And to your dashboards, you can add even YouTube channels there. Right? So this is how simple it is to actually, create a dashboard with all those options. Can you suggest some open source datasets on web to do the analysis on Tableau? Arihant, there is Tableau Public. Tableau Public itself has a lot of interesting datasets there, right? You can directly download from there. Mohit, Mohit, that would take a lot of time, right? Instead, let me quickly, Mohit wants me to show on how to connect to data source. If you have Hive, I haven't installed on this MacBook now, but if you have Hive, go open that, right? And say ifconfig, you'll get the IP address. Take that IP address, go to whatever bit, put the server IP there, and this has only Hive server, I believe. But if you're using Windows, you'll be able to see Hive server 2, which is the latest server there. And probably you can give the respective authentication and then connect to that. Right, and there will be a lot of connectors. Let me show you that. For instance, there is ODBC connector for Hive. Right, within Cloudera itself, you'll see that. All you need to do is go to Cloudera or whatever application you're trying to connect there. You need to go there. You have all these things, right? You have Hortonworks, Hadoop Hive, you have Cloudera Hadoop, you have Mapper, Hadoop Hive, all that. So whatever you're trying to do, go to the appropriate, version if you're using Windows there, and download that. Once you download that, there is a small configuration setting which you need to do. Right? But explaining that here might not make sense. Ashwin has this question. In SAS VA, it has a feature wherein it automatically selects chart depending on the number, dimension, and measures. Is there a similar feature in Tableau? Absolutely, we have one. So, for example, I think I've already shown you for latitude and longitude. If I do not select anything, for example, say I do not select anything there, here nothing gets highlighted in the show me panel. However, if I select only profit, okay, let me click on sample superstore. If I select only profit, now none is selected, right? And this is a floating panel, so none is selected there. If I click on profit, suddenly you see that these two bars, suddenly you see that, where did I go? Yeah, these two visualizations got highlighted. What does that mean? So if you have only one measure, these are the two appropriate graphs visualizations. And what if I also select, say, sales along with that? Or let me select sales and profit. Right? If you select two such things, or let me expand this and show you once. Okay. Now, if I select highlight those two, scatter plot got highlighted there. So Tableau has this intelligence within that which says that, hey, given these two measures, these are the three visualizations which you can perform. You can perform a bullet graph or a scatter plot. And if you see, and if you notice clearly, scatter plot has a blue border there, highlighting and saying that I, as a tool, would suggest you to go with scatter plot. However, you can also do a bullet graph or a horizontal bar. Yeah, this is a good part about Tableau. Let me take a few other questions. Can you please show how to save report and how to publish it and send across to my company? So there are a lot of ways to do that. One is if you have your Tableau server, you can go to server and publish your workbook onto your server so that all your audience can see. On server, you can also set your security, which says that these bunch of users should have read access. Or Tableau Public is open source, free for download, but you'll not have all this database connectivity, and a lot of features would be missing in that. And say your people do not have any of your Tableau stuff, you can actually save your file in an PDF format. You can save your file in PPT format, PowerPoint presentation, and all those things are possible. Right? You can export your packaged workbook in, yeah, these are the various ways that you want to probably save and share it across your community there. Can you also suggest some complete open source software like Tableau, which is equally good as Tableau? Arihant, within data visualization space, you do not have anything which is even closer to Tableau, which is open source, right? That's the sad part, actually. Can we have number of visualizations in one view and an option for the users to select the dimension and measures dynamically? What do you mean by that, Ashwin? Are you saying that can we have multiple visualizations, and then when we change the dimensions and measures, see those changes in multiple other um, visualizations? Is that your question, Ashwin? So while Ashwin gives more clarity on that question, let me take this question. What is it that Tableau has that Cognos definitely doesn't? Whether Girish, I'm not sure whether Cognos have so many analytical capabilities of building your prediction models, building your forecasting models on the fly as compared to Tableau. ODBC drivers need to be installed on Tableau server. No, you need to install that on your desktop, Upendra. So Ashwin, if your question is on these lines, let me quickly clarify that. Right. For example, let me create a new dashboard there. So you can actually do all these things, drag and drop multiple things, right? That's your dashboard. Let me collapse the show me panel. Right. If your question is, can I place all these things in this way and then make changes in one location on measures and dimensions and see how it's going to impact all of these things? If that's your question, I do not think so. Number of visualizations in one view, by that I mean 3 different graphs in one view. So for that, we can create this kind of a dashboard which I've just shown you, and you can have a lot of visualizations in one view, one place. All right, do you have any more questions? If you have no more questions, then thank you so much for attending the session. This recording will be shared across with y'all. Good night, folks. If you do not have any doubts, or you can ask me now. All right, I see that there are no more questions. So thank you so much for attending this session. Hope you have enjoyed and hope you have got few key insights. And all the best if you're wishing to pursue your career in Tableau or data visualization profession along with analytics. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you, Vineet. Thank you, Makant. Good night, Vineet. Thank you, Divanshu. My name is Bharani Vedagirish. Good night, Divyanshu. Thank you, Pindra. Thank you, Anil. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Ashwin, if your question is if you give your reports to customers, will customers be having an option to select the dimensions and measures? Oh, yes, they can do so. All right. Thank you so much, friends. Bye for now.